Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and Dev and I are doing a discussion over SHASN Azadi, which is the newest standalone expansion to SHASN. Standalone because you need the base game, at least the base game components to play, but you kind of use none of the other stuff like in the game.
Yeah, use the
voter pegs, you
boards.
use the resources, the boards, and that's pretty much it.
Cards.
And the voter cards, which I'm gonna go ahead and get this out of the way. I hate that. I hate that so much because Honeybuzz did that, if you remember, where it was like you made this entirely new game. You couldn't produce 4 more cardboard.
I guess it's like a cost-saving measure, but then it's like then you also have 2 standalone games you can sell independently of each other.
Right. Yeah, but then they produce these like really cool metal trackers. So it's like just make the full game so it could be standalone. So if people don't like the original, but they want to do the semi-cooperative nature, they can play that. Because no one can buy this without having to buy this.
SHASN. Yeah, I don't know. That's a difficult call to make.
Yeah.
It's like KDM did the same thing with their Gambler's Chest.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just a huge expansion. But I remember when we were talking to Adam, he's like, it could have made it standalone.
Yeah, I don't get it.
But that's a lot more miniatures you have to stuff in, because I was remembering how the core game came with all the different armor set miniatures. I mean, sure, Gambler's Chest came with its armor sets as well. But anyway,
it's like just make a separate game. So because people, it's like it almost feels like you're trying to rip people off. Hey, buy both our games, but don't use any of the extra stuff.
Yeah, it's like, I guess it depends on who they want to market. I know, completely sidebarred immediately in this video. But I guess if they're targeting people that have already bought their core game, this is the track you take.
That is true.
If you're targeting a new audience, yes, you make it standalone. So obviously, they were just targeting people that already own SHASN.
Yeah. And to be fair, they might have. Now, this was sent to me as a review copy. So they could have a actual standalone version. And if they do, then my point is moot. Or if you can get the extra stuff off their website, yeah, I mean, it's kind of shady to be like, oh, get the rest of the complete stuff off our website, pay us more. Either way, if you can get the voter pegs and not have to buy the whole base game, then whatever. Anyway, all that is to say, SHASN Azadi is a semi-cooperative game about rebellion. I know Azadi is a thing. Do they say what it is in here? I think it does somewhere on what Azadi actually stands. Oh, Azadi. It's Persian. Freedom, liberty, independence, every individual's fucking birthright. That's what's in here.
Fucking birthright?
It's their fucking birthright.
They put that
I'm dead serious.
fucking in there?
Yeah, come
okay.
on. You know I'd say something not like that if I was making it up. And here's the thing. I can think of like one game that's semi-cooperative that works. It's never a genre that I gravitate towards because usually it's like this weird kind of like, ooh, I guess we're kind of going to work together, but really not because I know we're still going to be enemies at the end of the day, so I don't really want to work with you, but I kind of have to. It's a weird middle ground that I've never really enjoyed. And Nemesis is the only game that I've played that was semi-cooperative that actually works.
That was that space one with the aliens.
Basically Alien.
That was a good one.
Exactly.
That was a good one.
And that's a general consensus, is most people don't tend to like semi-cooperative, at least from what I hear in the Planarverse. And unfortunately, I don't know. It doesn't. I don't think it really works here either.
It definitely, I don't know. Shortly after we started, I was kind of disenfranchised, disenthused.
Yeah.
Mostly, a bunch of new rules.
Yep.
2 new resources.
Yep. A third party, your AI that you're competing against.
It's okay. And it's like, okay, so obviously we came into this thinking, like, okay, it's more of SHASN, but they made some changes. They put a new unique twist on it.
Yeah. And it kind of is that. Mm-hmm. But I'm not incentivized to really work with you.
Yeah. It fell a little flat.
It did fall flat.
I guess my opinion, like, first that hits me is, I don't know, it felt like they had something good with SHASN.
Yeah.
They muddied it up with extra BS.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like, I love the idea of Azadi, of, like an oppressive regime that you... Like, it would have been so much better as a co-op. Like, have the oppressive regime that's constantly bearing down on you and you're doing a bunch of things to try and fight back.
Yeah, it's like 2 separate games.
Yeah, exactly. But here they try to have their cake and eat it too by having this oppressive regime that doesn't really ever feel oppressive. Like, I guess in theme, kind of.
Yeah, you're right. They don't really feel oppressive.
They're just kind of there, and it's like, I guess we'll parlay with them and get some resources. And they're just, and then every now and then these Imperial Order cards come in that just kind of affect the area majority part.
Yeah, because it's like the only way they get presents is from us parlaying, and that's how we get resources. And it's like, so we kind of, the semi-cooperative is like, we're kind of fucking on each other when we parlay because it puts their Imperial presence on the board.
Or their mat over here, where it's like the more we... Because they still wanted to keep their ideology card thing, which was the bread and butter of SHASN, and we'll get to these in a sec. But we're still answering those questions to kind of dictate what regime we want to be whenever we overthrow them. And by the better we do, the stronger they get to like keep trying to, the rebels are getting stronger. We need to really put our boot on them. But all it does is really manage your resources. It's like, all right, you have two Supremos. Get rid of resources.
Yeah, get rid of something.
It's like, okay. And that affects everyone, and that just kind of rotates in cycles as the game goes on. So it was just kind of more annoyance.
Yeah, like, what are they...
Like, they have you discard 2 resources, discard 2 infamy, discard 2 non-majority rebel voters, and then convert.
Gotcha.
And that's pretty much it. Like, what's kind of upsetting about those is the 4 ideologues are not different from one another.
No, yeah, just depending on how...
Yeah, like how we start changing, or the more we get into a section, the stronger they get whenever the crown lands on them.
And it's almost like, you're punished for spreading out versus being a one particular aspect.
Yeah, no, exactly. So I never really felt that there was a reason to ever work with anyone else, and 2,
short of the coalitions.
Short of doing coalition majorities, and then also just to win. It's like, okay, well, we're gonna go and fight them. We got enough Azadi points. Now it's regular SHASN.
Yeah, because it's like 2 separate games. It's the first half you're fighting the regime, then you beat them, and then we're just fighting each other.
Yeah,
and
it's literally like who has majority during the game, is gonna have an edge, and then I'm the one who got us our final Azadi point. It's gonna dictate this foundation card, which will give... It's like, I get to pick that. Well, not really. It's kind of majority on what everyone else has. But if I did more monument stuff, then that's going to give me potentially tie-breaking votes, and I might get a bonus. That's literally it for the foundation cards. And then it's like,
play standard SHASN, but kind of dry.
Yeah, play SHASN with worse ideology cards. So I feel like I would have enjoyed this a lot more. Well, one, I gotta say, it's on my mind. This cover is amazing.
Oh, yeah, gorgeous box.
That is awesome. But yeah, it would have been much better if I felt like we were cooperatively working together to try and have some hope of beating the oppressors versus like, we did down with tyranny. Now I'm tyrannical. It's like, okay. And then it's even more writing on the wall if I contributed more in the co-op part. Like, let's say it's like this, where it's like I have majority here and here. That's 18 points, and then just one more zone comes out and it's like, okay, so now we just kind of have this 2-hour long game, adding another hour to try and undo everything you did so I can win regular shots. Yeah. So, but if you can't do that, if I can continue starting stealing resources and stuff, and then I just win the new majority, it's like, why'd we even do that? Why couldn't it just be this arbitrary, we win together, but I'm better?
I think it would have felt better if it just stayed us versus them, and maybe they put a little more into that.
Or
into this mechanism.
Yeah. Or if they wanted, do the fully cooperative thing, because it would have been kind of neat. Because I like the idea of kind of like how we're all trying to fight back on rebellion and it's based off of the majority of whatever. It would have been kind of cool if there was just an epilogue that was read. How our, because we had to work together, how our new regime together took over. And it's just a paragraph or something. I would have felt better about that. Or a point system, trying to beat your own score.
Right.
Oh, it's like you got so many points. You got 18 points. 18 is short-lived new government. You tried doing this. Oh, you had Supremo as your main one. You tried to rule with an iron fist, and then your rebellion was immediately taken over. Whatever. Some epilogue thing that would have kind of been like, all right, well, there's a finale to it. Instead of just, hey, we know SHASN's really good, and a lot of people like it. What if we just did that?
Just stay in SHASN into this other game.
So...
With like a few other effects, like what these continue.
The rebel powers, the imperial orders. I like that. Like these tyranny cards, depending on. So they have 5 campaigns: South Asian Independence, American Revolution, Russian Revolution, Egyptian Revolution, and Mars. And I mean, I'm all for the sci-fi stuff. That's kind of cool. But they have these tyranny cards. And these are neat. Like, I think these are kind of cool. You have to do these. You cannot win or get enough points otherwise. So you have to go into volatile areas, get a card that is going to basically give you 2 powers to do, and it's going to lean one way or the other. But at the time, the stamp, or let's do the T. We'll just do the T Act, because that's the American Revolution. The British have imposed a ridiculous tax on tea, making themselves richer and us poorer. We can't let them tread on us. Don't tread on me. You get it? Do you get it? And then, now there's a tax hike. So you look for the tax hike card. And this is an imperial order that gets placed out on an area. To place any rebel voters in this zone, discard any 2 resources. And that's just there. So you kind of can block an area. It's like if I'm trying to, either take this area or hold that area, I can make it harder for you. If I have ways to generate more resources.
Right, or if you already have a lead. There.
If I already have a lead, yeah. So, but then there's it puts out these infamy tokens that now you can just dissent against these by getting rid of specific
Essentially spend trust, you spend funds, and then
then you gain infamy.
Yeah,
and you gain infamy on this Maidan, which you can use depending on how many you have. If you spend 6, you can answer an extra ideology card. If you spend 1, you pick an open voter card. Resources required are interchangeable. Spend 4.
Which is too good. So it's kind of hard to want to save.
No, I know. It is really good. I mean, answering an extra ideology card is also solid because that gives you 1 faster ways to get to your abilities and more resources. But there's also other ways besides your abilities to convert, to evict, or whatever. But those go away. But within the tyranny card, you have 2 options of which way you want to go, and then that's how you get these liberty tokens, legacy tokens, not liberty, to help build the monument, which is really just for a one-time power during the that's the only difference of the SHASN is the monument effect. I think this is cool. Yeah. I think this is a neat addition to the ideology cards, and just there's a bunch of them, and they're kind of like the 2-player zone influence cards. Where it modifies the zone,
right?
Versus just being a regular zone to do whatever you want with.
Yeah, like when you told me originally that those zone cards weren't in core SHASN with a larger group, I was like, oh. Sounds kind of dry. Those zone cards kind of help mix it up.
Yeah, no, but there are tokens in regular SHASN that you can place in zones that have special abilities. When you place it here, you get a resource. Gotcha. Stuff like that. But other than that, it's you kind of rinse repeat. Like, you have to do tyranny, so someone has to go into a volatile area. You can only have one tyranny card active.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Yeah, so what happens if I go into a volatile area if we already have a tyranny out? Does it just... I just go there, no trigger?
You're locked there. So...
Okay.
So that's pretty much it. And then the rest of the game is still regular SHASN.
Yeah, the first half you're just trying to get Azadi points collectively, more or less, while situating yourself to be in a better position come the second half.
Yeah.
Assuming you even make your benchmark of 14 cards and have reached Azadi.
Yeah, in a 2-player game, and it is based off of like difficulty level. So let's say you're playing a 4-player game, you have 24 ideology cards to get through. So, and then let's say you're playing on hard difficulty, you need to get 12 points.
Yeah, it's a good thing you moved it to easy, because we would have lost beforehand.
No, I know, just because I was like, what the hell? It's just the theming. The theming should have worked, but I feel like that they tempered themselves. Like, in a game about oppressive regime that is rampant in tons of countries, and they didn't shy away in the ideology cards in SHASN from being controversial or talking about hard-hitting subjects.
But yeah, I mean, what the bread and butter of this game...
Which is the ideology cards.
They really flubbed it.
They watered it down.
Or
bad.
they were just...
Like,
I don't know. Or if they got a different writer or something, because they didn't make me laugh. I mean, they were just like, I don't know.
I will say, and this is kind of, you know, whenever you like watch a movie and it has like one writer and you're like, man, this movie's really good. You're like, awesome. And then you watch another movie that's kind of dog shit, and it's like, you see it has like 18 writers tied to it. You're like, this is why. There's no cohesion. So... I'm going based off the cover here. SHASN, created by Zaim Memon. SHASN Azadi, I'm not going to say those names because I don't want to butcher them, but it has 4 names tied to it. Now, that could be for tons of... That could be art, that could be the co-op version, that could be the writing, whatever. They had 4 hands in it.
That's more than one.
That's too many cooks in the kitchen. Because, like we said, we've done the SHASN review, so you can talk about... Or you can go watch that. Regular SHASN has ideology cards that, one, I mean, some of them are just absolutely insane, but could be used for educational purposes, could be used for discussion topics, could be used just to actually have something unique about your game.
Yeah, and they're great talking points at the table. Like, it's just like, even if you're just playing the game, which is kind of like, okay, I'm playing a board game, but we're like, oh, we kind of chat about them.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, you're wanting to represent, you're trying to game the game, obviously, but it gives you something to talk about. Yeah. This one, really, I know we were going American Revolution, but there's barely any history in any of those cards.
I know. It's like...
Like, what the fuck is...
They went through...
Here, god damn. Yeah, should we incorporate the indigenous two-spirit gender identity into American culture? Create new holy sites?
Let's see.
Here's one. Okay, repatriate native prisoners of war. Okay, there's a few here and there.
Yeah. But then they have generic ones like, should we provide our citizens with health care?
Like, this is the revolution. We don't even talk about healthcare.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, should Americans be trained in martial arts?
Oh yeah. That, I remember that was a huge talking point when they were like signing and writing the Declaration of Independence. It's like, should there be a right to martial arts? Yeah, I forgot about that part.
Here's the one we really loved. Should we manufacture wars? No, wars for the weak. Let's manufacture new genders and see what happens. Or yes, bloodshed is the currency of security and manliness. And a chance to sell the government $1 million tanks. It's like, okay, we get it. You hate America.
Yeah,
I mean, we all do, but we hated America before you guys, okay?
Yeah, it's so interesting because clearly there was a tongue-in-cheek element to the regular SHASN ideology cards, like the cyber attack one. No, we don't have time to deal with those dweebs.
Yeah,
that tied to the Supremo. But all those ideology cards, you knew. I mean, some of them were kind of vague. It's like, oh, which one? You could
identify which one it was.
Here, it was a crapshoot.
Oh yeah.
It's like, I guess if it slightly alludes to money, maybe capitalist.
Yeah, you can't guess them at all.
No,
not one. Should we manufacture wars? No, wars of the weak. Manufacture new genders would have. I mean, showstopper. But then we've had Supremos that were kind of funny too. Yeah, should we curtail alcohol consumption? No, a country divided against itself cannot stand. Alcohol is the great lubricant of our warring states. Period. That one's Supremo.
What was the one about? Hold on. Should we keep the British prison ships that housed our fallen comrades? Yes, we can turn them into assets by transforming them into casinos. It was almost like, here it is. Should we allow natives the right to vote? No, if we don't grind the bones of our enemies to dust, their skeletons will haunt us in October.
Yeah, they definitely struggle.
It's like, it feels like they looked up, like, what do they call, like those really quick things that you read when you don't want to read a book.
Cliff Notes?
Cliff Notes. Cliff Notes on the American Revolution, or the French Revolution, not French Revolution, sorry, Egyptian Revolution. Mm-hmm. And they just were like, okay, good enough. And then they became caricatures.
Yeah.
Instead of these ideologies and ideologues in regular SHASN are believable. Mm-hmm. It's almost like, because clearly in this one there's tons of references to Trump.
Yeah.
And he's the comic of any presidential president that we've had. Mm-hmm. But still, it was you were like, that's a real person. Here, it's like, this is what Big Mouth would write. Like shitty, horrible, allowing natives the right to vote, which would be a huge topic, and was a huge topic to try and give them rights. Mm. No, because they'll haunt us in October. Okay, is this meant to be for children? Mm-hmm. Is this... every time that I was answering an ideology card, I did not give a shit. Mm. I couldn't figure out who it was.
Right. Yeah, because that's the main thing. It's the ones in SHASN and Core, they're not knee slappers. They don't have to be.
No.
But they just have to kind of give us a direction on what kind of resources I'm going to get.
Yeah.
And this, you couldn't.
No, yeah, exactly. Especially whenever, because like we mentioned with regular SHASN, you need to game the game to get the benefits. That's how you win the area control part. So the ideology cards are a great addition to the regular game. Mm-hmm. Here, it's sure. Let's see. Let's see if you can guess one right now. I'm gonna do this one. Should we provide support to France for their own revolution? Yes, we sign deals that we must honor or face the perils of mistrust. Or no, like the great American maple, we are crown shy and proud to leave some space between us and them.
Okay, I'm gonna guess. The idealist is generally the easiest to guess. That is because it's just the nice guy answer.
Right. Yeah, that is
so
true.
The first one was definitely idealist.
Okay.
I want to say the second was showstopper.
Nope, Supremo.
Those are the two that are hard to differentiate.
Yeah. But yes, idealist was the easiest. Should we allow women to wear vizards in public? Yes, vizards. Wenches deserve anonymity and men deserve a life unencumbered by beauty. No, anonymity is the beginning of freedom, and if the women are free, what do our soldiers have to come home to?
Wow. What?
So now, in this one, because whenever they were talking about hard-hitting subjects in this, the trigger warnings or the parental advisories, they were real issues that affected a lot of people. It almost felt like they were for the oppressed.
Right.
And they're trying to say that here, except now, this one and the gender one were like, okay, is it just a middle finger now? Mm-hmm. Did you forget that you were supposed to be for...
That's sort of nuance in a way.
Now it's like, oh, you guys just make up genders. And it doesn't come off as, oh, this is a Supremo character. Mm-hmm. That's what they're trying to say. Oh, this asshole would say that. Yeah. This almost comes off as they're writing it as a dig to transgenders. And then here, apparently... if women are free, what the hell do our soldiers get? Women are property. And it's like this, and I get that you could be like, oh, well, that's what a Supremo would say. Except if you're going that route, in here, it doesn't come off as American Revolution 1776. Mm-hmm. For the record, it was Showstopper and Supremo.
Gotcha.
So... the bread and butter to regular SHASN that I've praised for its uniqueness is and I'm not saying you need to have trigger warnings and parental advisory. It doesn't need to be vulgar. The regular cards in SHASN are great conversation topics. Hey, should we abolish the Electoral College? Oh, you know that? We probably should. Oh, hold on now. Like, here's why the Electoral College matters. You could have that discussion. Here, it's like, well, that's true. The American Revolution soldiers really wanted their women home, so they really shouldn't be free. It's like, what? And maybe it's one of those that were disconnected because clearly it's hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, maybe that's a hard topic to, capture to write for, to keep entertaining, but I'm like, then don't make the deck.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Like,
if you
do the, I don't know. I get it. They have to sell it to American audiences, so they have to include one.
I don't know how you even do. There's so much history that you can pull from. So many untouched stories that you could actually write about. But if you are having to struggle with 1776, 1947 is not that long ago, 1917 is not that long ago, Egyptian Revolution is 2011, then you don't have a game. Like, because the regular co-op version, the semi-cooperative version, is not interesting enough without the ideology. Same with SHASN. The area control is not interesting enough without the ideology.
Without that extra conversation piece that is those cards.
And when your writing is no longer tongue-in-cheek, but coming off as you're just being a dick, it's that. And I am like the most everything is funny, everything's fair game, it's all about context kind of person. But whenever those cards come off, it's like, oh, that actually leaves a bad taste in my mouth. That's one, it's not funny. If you're trying to be funny.
Yeah.
So, nor is it clever. It is mean-spirited.
Yeah, and it doesn't point in the direction of the resource I need.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. You can't game the game. I guess I'll do no on that one. And it also doesn't even tie into the theme.
Exactly. The theme. Yeah, huge disjointer there. It just didn't hit as good as standard SHASN. They muddied it up more. The
Imperium, is that what you're talking about?
The Imperium, what do you call it? I can't think of the...
Oh, Legacy.
Legacy points, the Infamy, I'm just kind of muddied it up. I don't know. It was just, I feel like they hit it with SHASN, it was good, nice and smooth. Extra muddiness that just made it difficult.
Yeah, and the one thing you are missing, which is not really replaced by anything, are the headliners and the conspiracy cards. Those were really good to help you differentiate. And I guess the replacement here is supposed to be the rebel powers. Like, hey, I have majority here. I have 3 Supremo cards. So because I finished that tyranny, I'm going to place this Supremo rebel power where I can get the benefit from it. Now, you can jump in, and if you also have 3 Supremo, you can use it. But it's just like... I don't know. I guess I just realized I play SHASN for a lot of... It was a good balance of the ideology cards that I was like, this will be fun, I'll play this big dickhead, or I'll play this super idealist, I'll just go heavy on that. And here, it's like, oh, that sounds idealist. Oh, that was Supremo for whatever reason. So... and then on top of that, you can't even play it if you don't have the base game.
Oh, sure.
So I guess that's maybe it. Hey, if you play it SHASN Azadi and you're like, I don't really like this. Well, good news, you have the base game to play.
The base game.
Unfortunately, because we just got done playing a 2-player game of SHASN Azadi, this 2-player game worked better than the 2-player version.
One of us did Beeline Supremo.
No, we pretty much had the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's like we were both going Supremo.
And I didn't choose that. I didn't pick, that's definitely Supremo. It was like, oh, that weirdly was Supremo.
I know, it was really hard to differentiate.
I guess
Supremo and Showstopper.
Yeah. And I don't know. Because some of these powers you would never do during the co-op version. Why would I steal 2 resources from you when I need your help to get a Azani point or Azadi? I guess until later it's like, I'm gonna build Supremo because hopefully we win, and then now I can start stealing resources from him. And you know me, how I despise games that last longer than they should. You play regular Azadi for 2 hours, and then it's like...
And then reset, now fight each other.
Reset, yeah, now do regular SHASN. It's like, why didn't we just play SHASN to begin with?
I'll just skip to the middleman here. Or skip the middleman.
Yeah.
Modular. I like that.
The modular board, that is cool.
I feel like they should have done that with core SHASN.
Well, you can now. They have ways for you to combine the SHASN and Azadi. So playing SHASN campaign using Azadi's modular map. So, yeah, it just tells you, hey, pick a campaign from SHASN and headline conspiracies, shuffle ideology cards, and it tells you how many number of players, how many zones.
Okay.
So you have both of those, and then you could play a SHASN game with an Azadi campaign. So you could take these decks. And I kept saying campaign. I'm like, it's not a campaign. The decks, the ideology cards are campaigns. You can take those and put them in.
Okay.
Which, I mean, they are what they are. I would just... I guess I like the trigger warning and the parental, because they don't flood you with them. It's not constant vulgarity, but there's some hard-hitting ones in there that comes up maybe once or twice a game. And they just completely removed them. Like, not in here. Not in here. And I don't understand why. Because you put the icon on there. If you wanted to make it for babies, just remove those cards. So, I don't know. Complete flop on the standalone expansion, except for the cover.
No, cover's great.
You got anything else?
I think we're good.
Cool. On a scale of 1 to 10, what are you giving SHASN Azadi?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't really have fun with it. Yeah, man, I didn't think that. Cards really flopped it, and then like the extra gameplay elements just made it unnecessarily more complicated.
Yeah, you know it's not good whenever the entire time you're playing like a new game, you're wanting to play the older one.
Yeah, I was like, can we just play the original again?
And because it is so built off the bones of the original, so it doesn't differentiate itself. It's not like, oh, this is a completely different game. No, it's like, oh, so it's 70% SHASN, 30% some weird co-op thing that they added to it. Instead of, oh, it's built off the bone. Oh, it has the ideology cards, but it's this whole completely different thing. No. So I would never really say you need to own both.
Yeah. I guess it's playable.
It is playable.
I'll go to 5.
5?
I wouldn't recommend. I mean, it's playable,
Yeah.
but I don't know if I'd tell anyone to go. I'm not gonna recommend it.
No.
I'm like, get SHASN, play SHASN. SHASN's fun.
Yeah.
When I played with this one, I'm not impressed. I didn't like this one. They did great with the first.
Yeah, I agree. Now, it's interesting because you gave SHASN a 7. Just playing this, bump your regular score. You're like, you know what? Actually, regular SHASN is a lot better than I thought.
It'll stay at a 7.
Yeah.
If I play a larger group,
That's
and
true.
it changes my opinion.
That's true. Yeah, I'm actually lower on Azadi. This doesn't bring anything. There are some stuff that I slightly like the tyranny cards and stuff. But because I feel the ideology cards are what elevates the generic, not really generic, but it's kind of generic area control aspect. And these don't really do anything for me, and they come off weirdly like they're trying to offend someone. Like, these are actual discussion and smart talking points. These are edgelord just trying to be edgy, and they come off really cringe. So that really drops it for me. And there's nothing here that I would ever be like, no, let's not play the better game. I kind of want to sit around and dick around for 2 hours until we get to this game. I'm at a 3.
3?
I do not like it. Like, it's below average. Yeah, you can play it, but no, you can't. You have to buy the fucking base game.
That's true.
And if you don't, I will modify it. There's an addendum to my score. If you can get SHASN and Azadi with the voter tags, the boards, the voter card, if you can get basically a complete version, it goes to a 4. But because you have to buy the better version of the game to even play this, it's not a standalone expansion, it's an expansion, but I don't really like that. Unlike the best example we have is whenever we did Honey Buzz, and I had to pull a few things from the base game,
it was weird.
But everything in the expansion was great.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, I can deal with kind of messing with the core game. I guess it does give different campaigns, which is nice, even though I feel like now, to be fair, clearly we haven't played every single campaign. I haven't played every campaign in SHASN. It could just be that the American Revolution is the worst one.
Yeah, it could just be a super shitty deck.
But then you're out on content. Mm-hmm. If it's a shitty deck, it's like, no. If you play Azadi, you have to play the Egyptian Revolution deck. It's like, all of them should be good. I should be able to pick a campaign and be transported to the American Revolution to fight against tyranny. But because I know all the other decks, at least the other ones I've played, because I've played the US obviously the most. I've played the India one before, and I've played the Future of Humanity one.
How's the Future of Humanity
It's
one?
good.
Yeah.
Because it's not so far in the future where they're making shit up. It's real life things that are feasible, AI, cloning, stem cell research stuff, that you could be like, I bet we can get there. And there's going to be some, I think there's one, it might be in the US deck, or it might be in the Future of Humanity. It talks about self-assisted suicide. Just things like that. Right. Oh, hey, should we be able to upload our consciousness to whatever.
Right.
And things like that it's fun. There's nothing personal to real life people, but you can still be like, that is interesting. Actual have thought pieces. Here, now maybe the Mars one does that too. Mars 1 AE.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like your decks need to be solid around the time period, and maybe 1776 is too far to go back and come up with 80 cards or however many are in a deck. And that's entirely fair. But even then, even if, let's say, we did South Asian independence, which is in 1947, let's say that deck is even more thematic, I still would just rather take that deck and play SHASN.
Exactly. Yeah. The ideologies did not help at all, but it was on top of okay, this is just kind of dry.
Yeah. More,
and now 2 separate games and 2 different phases, and a long ass game.
Oh, and then I'm sorry, I remembered I wanted to talk about it. You know what happens if you tie?
Oh, the privilege calculator.
They have this arbitrary privilege calculator on their, it's whatever their website was, playshasn.com/privilege. Dude, look at that. Isn't that cool? That's like a cool art piece. I'd have a poster of that.
Yeah.
It gives me Salvador Dali vibes. If you've seen his flow of time.
I'm not an art.
Oh, okay.
I
know 2. I think the flowing time, or Sands of Time, or flowing time with the melted clocks. I think that's Dali, and there's another guy. Anyway, that's just a sidebar.
That's an Alan thing.
Is he a super art guy?
That was his original. Art history.
Interesting. Oh wow. Talk about boring. Anyway, they have this website that you go on and you go through this fucking calculator.
Are you white? Are you born? Are you in currently? Was it middle class? Or,
it's middle class.
Single parent household, dual parent household.
Yeah, what religion are you?
Yeah.
What's your income? And if you have the most points, so in this game, we Devin and I just went through it just for shits. We didn't tie.
I'm the most privileged.
He is. Now, to be fair, this is not me laughing at the fact that there are underprivileged people or discriminated people. Clearly, it's almost like the idea of it. Could you imagine a tie game where, let's say, it's me and my friend Hassani or whatever, and I had to sit here and tie it out? What's your income? Oh, poor.
Poor.
Okay, -10. Muslim? -10. Oh, transgender, -10. Yeah, sorry, fuck you, I win. Like,
Privileged one.
I could not imagine actually doing that with someone. To be a tie, like, for a tie, it's so, it feels so mean-spirited. There was a party game I was playing one time where you had to be like, it's like, oh, let's everyone answer, who do you think the smartest person in the room is? Who would do that? Mm-hmm. Who would sit there and be like, well, you're fucking dumb. And have a good time. Oh yeah, I forgot I came here to play a board game to have a good time with my friends. Let's talk about how shitty my life is whenever I'm trying to disassociate from the real world oppression, and you have to remind me about how much
stupid I am.
I have no college education. I have no.
Are you college?
It's
no.
Be like,
is your income under $195,000 a year? It seems like you're losing points, Yugi boy.
Oh, don't worry. I only have one parent who went to college. But you have two parents. How nice. I guess I lose some points there. And the final score is you have -36 and I have 42. Guess I win. Oh man. Even
well, let's be honest. If you have -46 social points, you're not playing this game. You need food or meth.
No, you're playing this game because the ideology cards are for 6-year-olds. It blows my mind that that's how they would do it. Just come up with a better way of tie breaking. It's
probably super rare given the way.
Oh, I'm sure it is because you can clearly see it, and it does say that in the super rare instance that there's a tie. But I just and having everyone sit there being uncomfortable while you're just dogging on this one person, like these cards apparently like to dog on certain groups. Yeah. If you buy both. You are buying it for this and to have more decks.
Yeah.
That is pretty much it. And the modular board. Because you can have a modular board.
Yeah,
so
more decks is nice.
More decks is nice. But the modular board is cool. I wish there was a way to throw the tyranny cards in there because I do like that system. That was pretty much the only new thing I liked. But honestly, I don't really care. So...
And pretty box. Looks good, actually.
God, it looks so good. Yeah, so, I mean, unfortunately, that's our thoughts on SHASN and Azadi. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.